All right, so we're back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video. So this one, this is literally live. I'm doing this on Twitch right now. I'll put where is it? Right here in my hands, I will put my Twitch on there. If you're not following already, please go ahead and follow. I'm gonna do all the events I can do, test out some set 13 stuff pretty soon, and whatever I can in general. Anyway, so today, this is the end of my run, unfortunately, because I went X2, and I was supposed to put music on. Let's just edit that in there, maybe. I don't know. So I went X2. I pretty much went undefeated all day up until a certain point, and I'll kind of talk about that, and as well as the matchup. So for this, we are playing Vegeks. So I saw the new one drop as far as the Katopesla line coming out of the evolution booster, and because of that, Vegeks is kind of like a really good candidate for that, simply because he mills out everything. The original one, which we'll take a look at in a second, will get the top 7 from the deck, and then when you mill out stuff, the missing pieces will get got from the new one drop. So Vegeks, he's been around forever. You can only play with mono black battle cards. You can draw one after you burst 5, untap 1, draw 1 if you have 20 in drop, or if 4 or less, and then sparking 20, you can reshuffle your deck. You don't really ever overwhelm, so you're gonna get that at any point. A cool thing about this is that the whole concept of this deck was to get to turn 4. You'll see why you know, the whole important reason for that is because you play a lot of negates and you just kind of stall out until then, and then all the stuff in between, like the mid-range Katopesla stuff, is super important. So getting 20 to the drop and then awakening is kind of the play. I don't think I've probably like 2 or 3 matches out of the 6 today was 4 or less life, and that was just by choice. And then draw 1, give unison double, right? After milling 5. So for those who don't know, I play 3 of the one drop Katopeslas. Again, this is really important for you to look at the top 7, and then getting what pieces that you need first before milling them out, especially if you don't have another one drop in your hand. This can be gotten by power bursts, so it's pretty important. Again, the whole deck is, the idea is just to recur everything that you can and then play anything that you need and get the pieces that you need. So that's that. And then we have the one drop 4 cost Katopesla, dual attack barrier. You know what's interesting, which you know, in the matchups that I'm gonna pull up in a second, I'll have it in my thing. There you go. You know, it's funny, in the matchups that I had, so like if you go first, play this, and then like against Red Broly or something that's getting out cheaper things, like I played Red Broly twice today, and then I played Soul Striker. He didn't play the 2-drop negate that untaps 1, but if they did, this is a 4 or less free negate for 1, basically. So he has barrier, you swing once, you restand, and then you pass turn 1 energy open. You can either power burst, or you can auto pay 1 and then negate the attack. That's basically the whole play for that. And then after that, we have 4 of the 5 drops. So this is a pay 2 critical double striker. When you play it, you draw 1 and you warp something. Interestingly enough, the time that was perfect to get this, I established a 4 drop. I was going against Red Gogeta BR. He got the 6 drop out that minuses 20 when you swing or when they swing, and he used strategies. So I'm like, okay, well, this is the perfect time, but now he has barrier and I can't really hit it. Yeah, thank you, Eric. Shout out to Eric for all these foils. These are all his, and then this is mine afterwards. I have the chain. I just wanted to foil it out. Either way, this is really good because you can just swing with it, the double strike critical on turn 3, basically, and that's pretty much where your turn 3 should be. And then just let it sit there, because they're either gonna waste resources to try to kill it or try to remove it, which they're going to use energy to do, and it's just not going to be great. It's going to be matchup related, where you keep out things that don't have barriers. So like if you know that you're going against red, if you're going against green, which I didn't go against green today, this is kind of weird, then you want to keep out the barrier stuff. Swing with this, swing once, swing with this, and then evolve for the 6 drop, which has barrier, double strike, critical, and then restands on this guy, and dual attack. Which when this guy comes out, even on turn 3, like a lot of people just end up just taking it. You know, it's just the thing about it is just it's just 30k double strike critical, that dual attack, and you can just let it sit there because it has barrier. So when this comes out, you're generally winning. Like there's not really a time where you're not going to be winning. Now the thing about it for this deck, why I chose it, is because of the new 1-drop. I really want to forward these out. Actually, these are okay. Here's the deal. I got 3 of the regular ones and 1 foil out of 1 box. So that if that gives you any understanding of how short print not only these are, and this is just anecdotal, but just in general, maybe you want to pick these up. TCG player link in the description below. What he does is auto when he's played, you get a 2 or more cost Katopesla in the drop. So interesting thing is that if you pitch, let's say for the Unison, a 4 cost, right? 4 costs, pitch with Unison, you play this, boom, you get it back, pay 1, there you go. Now you have the chain going and you have a barrier due to chill. Or you can combo something like this or a 5-drop on their turn, play it on your turn 4, get the piece that you need out of here, and then continue the chain. And that's basically what it is. Like you wanna burst as much as you can, have this in hand, and then just keep it going. The thing about it is that if you're going against things that have counterplays, things that return to hand, things that minus things, you really want to keep 2 in hand. And a good way to do that is to power burst, take a life on their turn, because for some reason when the Unison is out, they never swing at your leader. So the thing to kill or to combat that is to have the Unison out, have that, and then have a power burst in hand, mill out one of these bad boys or the other 1-drop, and then play it on your following turn. On turn 3, like you want to have this on their turn or power burst into it, because there's no way that the chain will go off until you have it in your hand. Now the other cool effect is the activate main, which is the broken effect. You probably can't see it because of the webcam, but it is the leader card is black. You have 4 more energy. You would activate a evolve effect on a black Katopesla. You can do it without paying the cost. So most of the time, my board would probably look like this, and you guys can take a look at the VODs if you like. And I didn't even go off as much as I wanted to, which is unfortunate. You play this, you pay 2 on 4 energy, you awaken, untap 1, draw 1, and then you kind of just understand where you need to be. So you can go like here, where you can get another piece out of the 5, 4, or 6, or you can pay another one to get another 4-drop. And then what happens is that you get it from your drop, you pay on top for free, you go here for free, you swing, you draw 1, etc. Right? It's just like when you start doing that on your turn 4, if they don't play Violent Rays, Dormant, or something that negs barrier or something, it's not really much they can do. They're just going to waste cards to negate and as well as to defend, which is just not going to happen. You're either going to take it, or you're going to combo out a lot of cards, or you're just going to negate. And most of the time, they negate. The whole concept of this deck is to get to turn 4, play this guy, pay the 2, go here, swing for double strike, which is what you really want to swing with, is double strike critical. Play here, swing again. That's what it is. There is something in the chat where which one call it the new negate. So I was playing a 1 of the new negate. I was playing 2 in the original deck, but it just didn't come up enough. And when we take a look at the negates, I'll kind of talk about that too. But the whole thing about this is just to play this on turn 4, get into the chain, and kill them. That's really what it is. So that's it for that. If anybody has questions, I'll take a look at the chat. This is the good part of being able to talk to chat. Here is 4 of the Time Agent Vegeta, 4 of the Unison, 4 of the Time Trunks, and then 4 of the rest of the Vegeks stuff. So I originally was playing 3 and 3 for this, but because local people, you know, they said just play 60, so I just played 60 instead, because you might as well if you're playing 58. So I just played 4 copies of both. I wouldn't really take them out I would say like if you can get this deck to 55, it would be probably perfect, and include these guys would be really good. But this is just all general stuff. The stuff that I was talking about before, you want to take life with this guy if they're not going aggro. There's the Soul Striker, the Android 21 matchup that I had. That was pretty important. These guys are pretty important too, just to go for game with the Katopeslas, and as well as to add that pressure on. Most of the time you'll have a pretty good hand because of power burst, boo, etc. But it is what it is. These are good just for early aggression, and then they're blockers, but they usually just die. I mean, they just don't do anything. And then Unison is just good for the backside effect, and as well as pitching boos and then Katopeslas, so that way you can get it back with this guy. And then we got 2 of the Haruharus. Never played it. I still like the card. Oh wait, I did play it twice. Never mind. I still like the card. It's really good for Unisons. It's the concept where instead of paying 1 to swing and take a life, it's because of whatchamacallit. It's just a 1 cost, take 2 markers off your Unison basically. The only difficult time that it didn't really come up is because of Jiren. This is 20k. That's pretty much it. I mean, by that time, I just removed it with Katopesla instead. Still a good card. Would I take it out? Yeah, probably. Then we have 4 of the Dark Power Messian. Again, with the concept of getting back what you need, which with Power Burst is kind of the thing that what it's about. This is for King Piccolo. It's for what else? Red Broly, technically, if you go first. If you go against anything that plays free stuff. Shout out to Luis and his Bergamo. And Eric for his Bergamo, because, well, find a way to remove it, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Or pitch 2. 4 of the 2 new super combos. You know, on retrospect, I would probably split these, not only because of the foils, but split it with the temporal trunks for what should we call it, to draw with 5, because you're always gonna have a 5 or more drop in this deck, especially by turn 2. So being able to draw whenever you want is perfect. Getting down to 4 and forcing yourself down to 4 for these is not perfect. These help to awaken, so does the trunks, so does Power Burst, but whatever. Drawing 2 cards and going for game though is pretty lit, so you want to keep them, keep them. Too much move. Shout out to Eric for the other 2 move. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have timed them out like 10 times. These are really good for the Unison, so you pitch 1, draw 1. That's just a Vegeks thing. I mean, it's just good. Like this over the draw boos or draw apes instead are really good, because paying 1 energy is super important in this format and probably going forward, because you just don't want to pay too much energy just for no reason, basically. That's just kind of how I see it. 4 power bursts. I think I have a 4th of these. I just don't know where it is. 2 protecting the people, and then 2 max power Kamehamehas. The reason why you play 8 negates in Vegeks is because you want to get to turn 4. They all have their own uses. Power burst already talked about over and over again. Power the people. The people are just for aggro decks, again, like King Piccolo. It did come up in Red Broly. Thank you for the follow. And then max power, I was expecting more Dark Broly, didn't play against 1, but it did help against Red Broly, and then Red Gogeta BR. That's pretty much it. And then 2 Champas, 2 Bardock's fully unleashed. So again, Dark Broly, this is really like if they establish it by turn 3, I just want to warp my stuff and then just make sure I get whatever I can with the 1 drop back in the drop and then warp. And as a free attacker, I didn't really have any other overrealm that I wanted to play. Like this is really a slot where you can put whatever you want, and then the Chu Champa is kind of like the same effect, in which if they're at 2 from taking all the attacks that I'm doing with Katopesla and all the Vegek stuff, then you can just play this and then just swing and then just boom, there you go. So they're 35 double striker for 1 energy basically. Now as far as SCRs and things I would change, I would probably put this bad girl in bad girls, or the Kai. Obviously I don't have the Kai. If you've been watching, which we will open today, baby, we have a new pack. If you've been watching, I've been trying to open for a Kai for Vicious Rejuvenation. So the Kai is best because whatchamacallit, not only board clears, but it also helps against unisons and as well as leader attacks. You don't really have too much removal in this other than Katopesla. So, you know, that's all I can really say. And then this is really cool because the worst match, like I think this deck has a pretty good matchup spread if you put in good black cards. Like honestly, I don't think, like if you look at some of the good black cards, like Brainwash No More is pretty good. I wouldn't play Deep Ringo in this because you really want your drop. The black IER I would highly recommend to put in this if you can find the room. And then Koitsukai. Koitsukai is super good, not only to fuel your hand, but also, or to filter your hand, but also just to go against red matchups, which this kind of struggled against, and apparently blue. But not really blue. I just played that incorrectly. And that's just really good in general. But this is really cool because if they have 3 more energy, and you could just go for something that has 7 or less, basically. But overall, really fun deck. I love it. As soon as you get to turn 4, you're just like, wow, I love my life. Koizukai is searchable with your 1-drop. Oh, you mean Power Burst or something else? Oh, Koizukai is. Oh my god, Deber. Oh my god. So Deber put up a good point where I'm verifying that right now. Koizukai should be a Universe 3, right? And if it's a Universe 3, the 1-drop Katopesla, it is Universe 3. 1-drop, yo, that's broken. Oh my god, that's broken. I don't, that's not like $80 broken, $50 broken. But if you play the 1-drop Katopesla for top 7, you can search the Koitsukai. That's actually really, really good. So where was I? Yes, so if you're playing the good black cards, honestly, I would highly recommend to put that. I would highly recommend to put the black IER. Brainwash No More would be amazing in this deck as well. I think Max Power Kamehameha is definitely the move for this deck as well. Protecting the People is kind of a last minute change. If you find a better negate or something to replace that, that's fine. That's pretty much it, man. Like you really want to say that you can do everything you can when you make a deck, but honestly, this has its limitations, and that's just what it is. I'm going to open this up. We're going to do the matchups, and then I'm going to go back to chat so we can do the giveaway and get the hell out of here, and go ahead and tell someone, or raid someone, I should say. Oh, Fusion Synergy. That's kind of a cool looking card, honestly. No Kai. All right, so as far as the matchups go, I had round 6 isn't on here, but ended up dropping then for that. I probably could have played the last round, but that's okay. Red Broly, shout out to him. He was a fan. He's a person who watches the channel. I don't know what to tell you. So round 1 was Soul Striker. He was kind of new, so didn't really. We just kind of had fun there. Android 21, I just kind of got a Katopesla out by turn 4, which that's where they want to be. A little bit further than that. He was playing ramp. Red Broly was pretty difficult round 3, but as long as you have the Max Power Kamehameha and as well as Bardock fully unleashed if they get to 6, and as well as the 5-drop, 1-drop, and 4-drop, then you should be good because you're just gonna warp their stuff. Make sure you do it before they awaken, so that way they can't put down another. Just force them to start the chain again. Soul Striking and Nemba was hard. That was Frisco Foss. He just went off on his awaken. If I had to play that again, is to wait until my turn 4 and just make sure that I get my 5-drops and my 6-drops out. If I did that and force him to use his God Ceilings on a free evolve, then I would have won that for sure. It would force him to awaken with his unison, which he was going to do anyway, and then go from there, which, you know, it's just really matchup knowledge. I just didn't know that matchup. Go GBR was pretty easy because you just warp stuff and you just go in. I just went in critical double strike, played it slow. And then the last round was Red Broly, which I will update. That was hard because I warped his Brolys early on, and then he had 2 TP Brolys, and then I died because he got the 6-drop out and I had no cards in hand. So that's just what it is. My recommendations for that is the whole max power. If you go first, which is really important because I went second, go dark power first round, so that way when they bomb they have to pitch 2. and then establish a 4-drop on turn 2 after you play the 1, if you can, and then negate if you can, basically with the 1-drop or the 4-drop. So that way you're not wasting any cards in hand. But that really goes up to the 4 chain, which you can just take life for anything not critical. So it takes some time to get that one figured out. That's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. People in the chat, thank you for being here for a live deck profile. It was fun. See you next one.